What is going on, ladies and gentlebeans of the tribe, and welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes podcast. I've got you a little bit to the side here, Carl. I'm going to have to fix that real quick. You're a little bit lefty-righty, righty-lefty. Hello, everybody at home. This is the official Tribe Talks podcast, live, coming in your ears. The exclusive Galaxy of Heroes podcast where we talk about nothing other than Swugger, allegedly. And we've got so many news items to talk about today, Carthrick, haven't we just?
Yeah, I think it's a long list of one item.
Now, listen, Lord Vader is a little bit screwy, okay? He's a little bit screwy, and it's not really his fault. It's kind of his fault.
I mean, listen, he's in this weird boat of actually working around characters relatively in his same era and faction.
Yeah.
And he's just not ready for that. He just doesn't know what to do with it. It feels weird. He's not quite sure what he's supposed to be doing with those characters yet. So we're discovering ourselves still.
We definitely are, and CG is discovering, I think, just how much they want to lean into that statement of not being countered by non-galactic legend teams. Well, I suppose they didn't directly say not be countered. Have a really hard time to be countered by non-galactic legend teams. And yeah, we're going to see. We're going to see if they actually decide to keep on buffing Lord Vader, or maybe even nerfing other teams. I think it's easier to buff Lord Vader, realistically speaking, but
yeah, that's probably the easier way around it. It just, the question is how far in the paint do you go before that team just becomes unbeatable by like one counter?
Yeah. And you know that the complete other aspect to it as well is that how much does the community also want Lord Vader to only be beaten by GLs in stuff like GAC and TW? Because nobody likes, like you said, very restrictive counters for teams. Like, oh, if you haven't got this team, you're fucked. Good luck.
Well, the theory crafting behind it gets really narrow, which I think people like some mobility into having options as to what you can use and where you can use your roster versus like you must save XYZ counter for, Lord Vader clones. Like it's going to have to be a thing on like you have to take every time. But
yeah.
At the same time, that then also like trivializes Lord Vader's importance of being on the defensive board in GAC because it's like the Africron right now with Jabba, where people are like, well, I see your Africron. Like, I'm just going to take Jabba to offense now.
Yeah.
Because there's no point
I mean,
at all.
That is actually quite funny because this last round, I was jumping around, taking Jabba off defense, obviously, because the existence of the Africron. And then I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'll put Afro on defense because everybody's taking Jabba off defense. And this last round, they had Jabba on defense. I was like, well, fuck me, okay. I mean, I still beat it. It wasn't like it was... Garth is super quiet. Let me have a look at that. Let me just check that out.
You just yell into my microphone.
Just yell real loud. Let me see. Yeah, I've got you maxed out on volume over here. I'm just making sure I didn't accidentally lower your... No, I have not lowered it this time. Yeah, okay. So this time I haven't lowered my stream mix. Hello, everybody. Hello. What was I saying? Shit. I was saying something.
Something about beating Jabba like it wasn't in.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I put my Jabba counter on defense, which was Afro. And then, of course, he left Jabba on defense, which just hasn't been happening until recently.
Yeah. Every Jabba I've seen so far has been a smuggler Jabba. So it's like...
with the evasion.
L3 and Nest and Bausch and evasion cron.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's all about that. But it's like it doesn't change my counter. Like I still use Queen Amidala versus it. Like Queen Amidala doesn't care because she has unresistible, unavoidable negative status effects. It's like
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
So does Echo and Tech, and so I just put them with her, and it's like, oh, look at your Bausch. She can't attack out of turn anymore. Oh, look at that. They died of one AoE from Kenobi. Shame.
Yeah, what a shame.
So it doesn't really change it for me. I just... I do like the people getting creative with the teams. That it finds that interesting to me. But I feel like the power difference on so many of these things now is just like the same. You're not blocking off the same counter. You're just now taking Chrysanthemum with Afra for some reason. Like I'm looking at that going like, I
That's
get
actually
where
what
your
I've been
head's at,
doing.
but Afra with 4 droids is still as efficient on offense or defense as Afra with Chrysanthemum.
Yeah,
Like
I
it doesn't
actually
change anything.
I tried that out last round because I took Jabber off defense, and I was like, I'm probably not going to use a full team with Jabber on offense anyway. I was like, I'll throw Santi in there and see what happens. And it didn't hold, but I get to see the footage later and see, what did they use and what was their banners? Because I don't sit around looking banner counting on my GAC board, so I'll wait until the results
PrimeBot
come
is
in.
for. PrimeBot will
Exactly.
tell you.
Oh, PrimeBot. I mean, I used to use that, but I wish PrimeBot, at least back when I used it, it used to be like all it would do is it'll tell you when they gain banners, right? It would be useful if it could actually record what team got defeated, And like when it
Oh
used to
yeah,
clear a
yeah.
section, it just used to give you like the combined total of the banner increase rather than the battle gave them 64 and they
It still
cleared the
does
zone
that. I
game.
mean,
It's still all right. Okay.
it's only useful if you're watching it, if you're watching them attack you. But the whole reason I think a lot of people use it is just so that when it pings, that they'll pull open the game and look at what's being engaged with at the time.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, overall, it just I've given up on caring about scouting and PrimeBot and all other stuff because it's like I really don't give enough of a care.
Yeah, I mean that's
Like this whole
yeah.
week has been, do they get hung up on Lord Vader? If yes, play GAC. If no, go back to bed.
Of course, you must be at that point where you've got the full squad at R9 now, is it?
Yeah, I
Nice.
pushed Scorch out to R9 day one for that exact reason, to use it. So
To take advantage of the rule of new, indeed.
yeah, it's working because basically everybody got one free round of Momo maybe
Yeah,
winning,
yeah.
and then now everyone's trying to figure out what works, and so I love
Holds
everyone who's
ensue.
trying to. Yeah, well, it's just like things that work with the when the team is half baked don't really keep moving through the rest of it. So like Slacker versus the full team is not as effective because you basically have two bombs to control. One being Apo's AoE and the other one being Disguised Clone Troopers AoE.
Gotcha.
And you can't get enough turns to get to both of them in time. And so when one goes off, it just wipes your team out. And
Oh,
so it's
okay.
just like,
Yeah.
yeah, keep using Slacker. You'll have a great time, I promise. Like, you need some pretty cranked mods on First Order Officer and Hux to get enough turns around to maybe control it long enough to have Slacker do something besides just fizzle out in 30 seconds or less.
Which nobody wants to fizzle out in 30 seconds or less. So,
I mean, depends on what else you got going on that night.
I mean, unless you're in a short for time, really in a rush, and
Yeah.
somebody's got to fizzle out. Might as well
Yeah.
be you. So,
Yep.
yeah.
I'm getting what I paid for.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, if I'm feeling a little bit sus about it, I'll usually throw in JML to just take out Apo at the very least.
Yeah.
And then the cleanup becomes a lot easier without Apo in there.
Yeah. I think JML will end up being a better counter at just for right now because of the ability blocks and the stuns really
Yeah.
slow down Lord Vader.
Mm.
But outside of that, it's going to get really dicey. Leia can do okay depending on the team you take with Leia and the Kron. A lot of it is around the Kron as well. And so there's just a lot of like nuanced little things that are kind of coming through that's just kind of like, we'll get there. We'll have good counters probably by the end of this week. We'll have something sorted out on what works. The question is just how does CG keep improving what beats Lord Vader, because like right now there's talk of the High Relic Bad Batch with the new Bad Batch team working against it. There's talk with Queen Amidala, and I don't remember who the fourth and fifth are right now, but might be Tech and Echo, because for the days
Um,
and the heal immunity.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I think no, I think there's Padme is in there. Padme
yeah,
and
Queen Amidala.
yeah,
You mean OG Padme?
yeah, OG Padme, OG
OG Padme. That
Padme
makes a lot of sense.
and somebody I can't remember. Might be Cam.
Yeah.
Might be Cam.
Might be Cam for the armor shreds. That might
Yeah,
help.
yeah. So
yeah,
and he does also still passes the additional offense. You know, the two support characters, even if he's not in a full Galactic Republic Jedi team. So that kind of helps with Master Qui-Gon Jinn because he's a support type, isn't he? So yeah.
Yeah,
I do like Cam in a
Bo-Katan Mandos with Bam is still beating it, and then chat just said Sirifu with Maul, which Maul is now homeless anyways, is winning. And so like we just listed off 4 non-GL counters to that team that at the worst of it will pick it apart. Like if they don't one tap it, you'll at least put you in a position to 2-tap for the majority of it. Now there might be some modding to get into place that might help push off some of those counters, but for the most part, I think it's not going to change it a hell of a lot. And then you still have a couple of GL counters after that, so it's like we're already looking at like 6 possible counters for Lord Vader. So right now it's just like, does CG go? We're still not happy with that number.
I have a feeling we're going to see a few more buffs come through. I think it might be a fine tuning process, but it does tickle me because like I've had people in my GAC live streams being like, "Oh, why are you taking Maul with Seer Malicos? Don't you need him for a Maul Mandos team?" I'm like, to do what? I'm not saying it can't beat stuff, but it's like it can't beat very many valuable things to me.
The gimmick is speed, right? Like that's the issue when it comes to Maul Mandos is you need to get in front of something.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of like fast characters on Dark Side right now for him to utilize, especially in the Empire lineup that don't have a home somewhere else.
Well, when you've got Gar and ISC as taking up 2 of the slots.
Well, and they require full Dark Side Mandalorian / Empire to still make
your options are Django and Canderous. And Canderous does, granted, gain a lot of turn meter, but then you're reliant on Maul having enough speed to take a turn. And even a fast Maul is going to be, like 330, 340.
You can get
pretty
him
much
up, about there.
And that's not really fast enough to...
And giving up the 5th Mandalorian hurts your offensive output a lot.
Yeah. I feel like, if you could get that Maul team to somehow be 400 speed, then it could probably take out a lot more things. But
with the Dark Side Datacron giving 25% turn meter, it'll probably have some viability again. But, until then, we're kind of just stuck waiting. For that option where it's like you put him with Seer Ufus and that's going to be
team is so much fun though. Seething
really
Rage with Malicos just constantly assisting. It's just like I
do like that one, that, and then you throw that with there's one other Ufu. You can't really make it work with Starkiller, but within 5s. But there's another Ufu that makes it a lot of fun for that too. But
I don't know. I'll have to have a look at Ufus.
I know. I have to go look it up again too. But a lot of like little knickknack stuff at work. So I'm just curious to see how far CG pushes that. Of like, we very much don't want like non-GLs beating this. So it's like, how far down the rabbit hole do they push that?
Yeah.
Without just like breaking so many other things.
Yeah. Yeah. I genuinely don't know what side of the fence I even sit on, because I've often said in the past that I feel like we've got to a point where there's just too many non-GL counters to GLs, and it devalues GLs entirely, because more and more often we're seeing, let's not put GLs on defense, let's take them to offense to be more efficient, and let's put like the top grade A-tier teams on defense with awkward Datacrons instead.
when the triple GAC Army teams have more defensive viability than GLs, like you're pushing things a little too far in the other direction
than GLs with triple Omicron conquest characters, I'm looking at you,
Well,
Glat.
yeah.
Like, Glat over there with Ezra, triple Omicrons and still gets beat. It's like, yeah. It's just,
Yeah,
I'm not saying that they need to be unkillable, but it feels like that they're just too easily dealt with for the most part. So,
well, yeah, the investment doesn't seem to be paying off. It's like you're better off missing a GL than you are missing out on a GAC Omicron team for PV for that kind of PvP.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So it's kind of nutty. So we had a question here. What's with the Battlefront 3 talks? I've seen this a lot on Twitter. Have you caught any of this, Carth?
oh, there's just a massive or being a positive like runoff right now is it just people are having a more I guess like they want to return to Star Wars, and so that's kind of like what people are that's the you can play massively is that Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
So people, I think this weekend Battlefront 2 shattered its all-time high player
Yeah.
count
Yeah, I saw
on
that
PC.
concurrent player count, right? Which
Yeah,
is
on
wild to
PC.
think that like that game now is more successful in concurrent usership than when it was last updated. Well, in its entire life, and it hasn't been updated in 5 years. Like,
Yeah. Well,
kind
that
of
just goes to
weird.
show you how bad of a taste their initial launch of their pay-to-win
Oh yeah,
system
yeah. They shot themselves in the foot
with the
big
player
time.
base, and then DICE tried to salvage it in with everything they had, and then they got the funding pulled from them, and they're like, "Well, that's it. The game's basically this is the last state of the game you can play." So
Yep. Yeah. Like,
it sucks, but I mean it's interesting to see that people are rallying around it. I mean, and the thing is too is that there's a lot of things going on right now with Helldivers and a couple other open world shooter kind of things like that in play where that kind of genre is kind of hitting a new stride again.
sure.
And so it's like people would like to continue to develop that in a Star Wars realm and play it. And so I think people are kind of just like, well, if we can put enough pressure that there's a want for something, maybe they'll follow through and finish development of that. Because I mean, there's still like OG Battlefront before EA
Yeah.
took over it. There is people have put together the Battlefront 3 files, and there's a playable game of that now
Oh really?
from the very old Battlefront versions of it.
No way.
People have put that together, so it's like there's a dedicated player base to it, and people love Star Wars. It's just you got to
Yeah.
quit just taxing the crap out of us to play it.
I mean,
So,
yeah. It's a super strong IP in general, but I think, like you said, Andor being successful has probably galvanized that quite a bit because we've had a lot of lukewarm reception to recent Disney Star Wars content, right? Not entirely, but Mando started off strong, has dropped off quite heavily. The Ahsoka show, I wouldn't say was an unequivocal hit. That was also kind of lukewarm.
yeah.
It had its positives, it had its downsides as well, right? Like Balin and Shin, awesome characters, really cool. Everybody loved them.
It's basically with Ahsoka. Just say the first half was lackluster. Besides
The rear
Balin,
end was good, yeah.
and then the rear end was pretty good.
Yeah.
It kind of swapped. There was a couple negative parts towards the end, but the overall was good. The beginning there was a lot of negative with a couple of highlights.
And the problem with that as well is if you turn people off in the first, like if people are bored in the first 2 or 3 episodes, they're not coming back for episode 3, 4, 5. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they've already got that. It's ruined already. So I think you're right. I think Andor being successful has definitely pushed players to do that. And the fact that we've seen like ex-devs go up on Twitter and say, oh, we'd love to revitalize this IP. We'd love to go back in and patch it and release Battlefront 3 in a couple of years' time and make it a thing again, right? So that's going to stir up sentiment in the community to be like, yeah, this could really happen, especially with games like Marvel Rivals and stuff like that coming to prominence and being successful, pushing players to play that more sort of PvP arena style gameplay.
Yeah.
I think there's potential there. I mean, I'll play any Star Wars game, really.
It's just the problem is that they have pushed, especially with EA, because they pushed out so little Star Wars content. They've tried to monetize the living crap out of it, and everything that when they do that, it just suffers in quality because so much of the assets that get pushed out are what can we use to monetize, and then players don't engage with that because there's nothing to engage them in the game
Mm,
before they get so off put by all the monetization. It's like
yeah,
there's nothing like when a game is built around the PvP experience like Battlefront is, it's like you've got like a maybe a 8 to 10 hour campaign to play on that.
sure.
And then you go play PvP and you realize that the PvP system is like, well, basically I gotta start throwing a credit card at the wall to, be
Which nobody
OP,
wants,
or
right?
no, or you kind of hang up the towel and play offline with your friends until everyone quits playing and then you put it away. And so I think that's the big issue with a lot of those types of games that have come out, is that it's so off-putting. The players
Yeah.
have a negative experience, they don't want to come back to that. And so that's what we see with a
And
lot of where we're at now
what I don't
is
understand with that and how that happened is like the blueprint for a successful like monetization of online PvP is already there. You
yeah,
look at games like Fortnite where you're like, oh, you can buy a battle pass for $9.99 that lasts what, like a month, is it? I don't even know. I can't
yeah,
remember. It's been
30
years since I
days,
played it. But, you can buy that and you unlock
30 to
cosmetics
60, depending
and,
on,
premium currency and shit. And there's
yeah.
absolutely zero competitive advantage. It's just like, I think there have been some odd cases where there's been like weird hitboxes and shit like that for certain skins and things that has,
Yeah.
soft advantages and
COD
stuff like
COD
that.
COD has had the same issues over the course of time too.
Exactly, but it's
But
it's
yeah.
not like people look at that and go, "Oh my god, it's pay to win." It's like, no, you could do it, you could make it cosmetic, and it's Star Wars. It would fucking sell. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But instead,
It's
they get off on the wrong foot right out the gate and piss everybody off, and it was dead
well,
on
yeah.
arrival, really, wasn't it?
It's one thing to have, cosmetic things be for sale, and then but the thing is too is that like so this was I don't know how much you know about the recent Bungie drama that's going
Zero,
on right
zero.
now.
Tell me.
But so basically in their newest release, they basically lifted a bunch of assets from a previous dev on the team and used it without their consent or anything else, or
Oh,
that's the
really?
allegation. And so a lot of devs are coming back up and saying like just offloading dirt on
Oh,
Bungie's
really? Just
practices and
shit talking
whatnot.
them.
Yeah, just shit talking. It's like the one that came out for me was like that kind of hit home with me, and I feel like this is what ends up happening with a lot of people
Mhm.
is the team had developed this. I don't know if you know the Trials of Osiris is in Bungie, but it's a very like high tier PvP. It's one life. It's very exclusive. Your win loss rating is depends on what rewards you get at the end of the month. It's very competitive.
Right. Okay.
So they had developed this very prestigious armor set for it,
Hmm.
and it looks fantastic, really cool.
Yeah.
The management wouldn't let them push it out, or that's how they say it, because they thought that it would overshadow what you could buy for the premium currency, and nobody would want to buy the stuff for the premium currency if this was available for free.
Okay.
And he's just like, you
Right.
gotta be shitting me. Like, has WoW taught you nothing over the course of the last like 30 years it's been alive? Like, people will grind hours in this game, and it's all about retention, right? That's what gets more
Yeah. For
transactions is
sure.
retention. And like they'll play forever for a mount
Yeah.
to they'll keep doing the same raid for a 5% chance for the mount to drop. And it's
5%
like,
sounds so good, to be honest. When you think of that
yeah.
330 drop at 0.01% or whatever it is, like
Yeah.
five,
It's
wow.
just one of those things. It's just one of those things where it's like if you want people to stay in the game long term, you need to be able to, earn stuff that looks good in game for free, because
Sure.
you're gonna spend more time. Like back when I used to play Halo Reach with my brother,
Okay.
we played that all the time because you had to keep progressing ranks and grinding currency to be able to farm enough to get the unlocks you wanted at higher levels. So
Mhm.
it's what kept us playing. But when Halo 5 PvP came out, we played for like 2 months and was like, well, everything that you want to buy or get is just, you just pay for it. So you get the one armor set you like, and then you
Yeah.
walk away.
You have to have some some free-to-play method of having good bling. It can't be just like shit bling. You know, if you can free-to-play unlock something that looks damn good, then crack on. You know, like personally, I'm not that fucked.
Those should exist though. You should be able to get stuff that looks good in game for free with effort.
100%. So yeah, it just baffles me with the way Battlefront was released. How you could, I'm like I did because I didn't really play it because like as soon as I heard about it, I was like, oh fuck me, I'm not getting involved in some fucking microtransaction online game. No, obviously not. I'm not going to do that. But like from what I understood was like you could literally power level your characters and unlocks just by spending money, right?
You could spend money to get the premium loot boxes that would give you the highest perk upgrades available for each class and hero.
So it would literally make your abilities better.
Yeah.
Stronger than
outperform everybody by leaps and bounds. But noticeable differences.
It wasn't a case that other players couldn't get those unlocks, right? It was just a case of it would probably take you a long ass time to grind it. Like we're talking weeks of grinding.
You could spend $100 and probably get half the way there in about 20 seconds, or you could play for a month and maybe get 10% of the way there.
Ouch. Yeah, see, that's fucked.
Yeah, because it was like the first few levels are very easy to get, but it was the fact that you could get the high tier. I think they were tier 4 tiers at the time,
right?
So you could get the tier 4 stuff as part of the drop rate, and so once you had it, you didn't even play the class. You could just go get on any class with that and be like, all right, well, I've got all the tier 4 upgrades. I'm gonna go roll your face off. So
yeah, that's kind of sucky. That's kind of sucky. Nobody wants that. Yeah. It's we have a Wolfie. I'm gonna have to do my cam magic. Hang on, give me 1 second.
Can I say I've been listening to this Galaxy of Heroes podcast for the last 20 fucking minutes, and the closest anybody got to talking about Galaxy of Heroes was when Scribe said the 0.5 whatever percentage drop chance for the
whoa. We had a whole like 5 minutes at the beginning talking about Lord Vader.
We definitely had at least like 3 seconds talking about Lord Vader for a little bit. At the very least. Okay, so that's kind of half fixed. Is that on 3? Yes, that's on 3. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, definitely need to adjust. Stolen the clock. Then we've got this. What's that up there? Yes, sorry, everybody listening at home. There's just me fucking around with cameras right now. Bear with the bears. And we'll be...
With bears. We are fucking around with cameras with bears. Just go with it, okay? Nobody just all right.
Everybody be cool.
Everyone lose their collective shit for the next 30 seconds, okay?
Damn it!
Just get it out of your system.
You had one job.
Better for everybody.
All right. Might need you to zoom your camera out, Wolf, if you can, please, buddy. Yeah. And I'll get us over here. Oh, no, that's okay. That's just you floating a little bit high. That's okay. I can fix that.
Woo!
That's okay. That's okay, and that's all right. We'll try not to give you a fright. All right, good stuff. Welcome, Wolfie. How you doing, buddy?
How's it going?
It's going good. We are chilling.
You know.
Yeah.
Munching. Well, done munching, so now we're hanging. And you know we're doing good.
Yeah. So we're talking about Galaxy of Heroes.
Yes.
So Battlefront 3.
Hashtag
I would love to see that.
3.
Also, I think it may have been MJ. I'm not sure who it was, but had posted something. Apparently, there is a chance that in Ahsoka season 2 we might be getting Iden might be making an appearance. Iden Versio.
Oh really? Oh, that's sick. Because she's based on a real actress, right?
Yeah,
I believe so. I believe so. That is the right time.
That's kind of cool. I'll be honest.
For Iden to be popping up. So I mean, it would be around the time where she would be active and would be doing things with the New Republic and everything. So
make the Starhawk canon. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
I'm good with that.
Give me a giant tractor beam as a capital ship.
I'm good
I
with
want the
that.
alt to just tear it apart. That's all I want. I want the alt to just literally fracture the enemy capital ship, tear it into bazillion pieces, and it's gone forever. That's all I want. In fact, all I really want.
Hold on. Isn't the
all I
next
really
capital
want-
ship going to be pirates?
Who the fuck
No
knows?
one knows what the next capital ship is. It's been 84 years.
I don't think we're getting any more
Leviathan
capital ships. I think CG is done with
Ugh.
ships. The last
It's
one we
gotta be
had was
pirates. Come on.
the last one we had was the punishing one, right? And that was like 7 months ago, and it was punishing, and it was one ship.
Still is.
So
Still is.
it still is punishing. I still
And it
think it
wasn't even a
deserves a
capital
nerf.
ship.
It was not a capital. No, it was better than a capital. I feel. So I don't have much hope that, because we're going into pirates now, and I think there's going to be 6 releases in this next marquee segment.
There is.
And I'm assuming they can't all be pirates
They
because they yar.
are. They've already told us that the next era will give us
already
two full light side or 2 full pirate teams, and it
Did
ends
they?
with
How are you
yeah,
getting
it's
2 full pirate teams out of 6 releases?
because
we already have a couple.
You have a conquest. We already have 3.
We have 4.
4. We already have 4, and then we get a conquest unit.
4 plus
and
Okay, so maybe we're
journey
just
guide character.
they're just going to split up the era battles then, because I saw they're different colors, like how the Jedi Vanguard and the Nightfall marquees,
they'll
which
give
are in
us
the
the
same
dark
era, have
side.
got
They'll
2
give us
different
the dark
things.
side pirates and the light side pirates.
Yar.
And apparently, we're going to either repurpose Sana to be leading a new team and get rid of all of her rebel clauses, or Sana's just going to we gave her the tag for pity's sake, and she's going to keep leading Rolo and Stormtrooper Han. And then
they tried so hard.
Yeah. It was good for like the 30s days where their Kron was really good. And then that's it.
That was
like I
it
love
was
how
a,
they
it
gave
was a good
Sana
moment.
level 9 this current set, and then gave her no way to interact better with rebels. Like
With
it's
her
on a
team, yeah.
it's a smuggler set and a Sana lead. It's like, guys, she's not gonna. There's no overlap.
No, it's very interesting.
Do you realize what? No, okay, cool. That's
Maybe they did,
right.
and they were like, "Yeah, we really do want you to use this in a BAM dash hand
Like,
cheating."
yes, guys, we get it. All right,
Yeah.
we're mea culpa. Okay, we fucked up.
Yeah. That's okay. They're only temporary power, right? So just like Appa is only temporary power. It does get me. Everybody keeps saying, when the Apocron's gone, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure there'll be another Datacron that still does pretty good work. Like, it doesn't have to be Appo's Cron. We can just have some other dark side Cron, and it'll probably do okay. But who knows?
There's
knows?
always going to be something.
Yeah.
Appo's Kron is gonna make like the few 100K damage from the 501st troopers from happening. Like when that goes away, that'll fall off, and Lord Vader hitting his heart will fall off. You get more time.
Yeah.
But what's his nuts? Disguised Clone Trooper. That guy is still gonna slap.
Yeah.
His 10% offense boost for every dot on the field when he throws that AoE, that doesn't go away. That's still gonna hurt. You give him enough resistance penetration or defense pen, he's just gonna blow up a board. Like, he doesn't need a lot to be crazy. Like, I understand when people are like, it'll be better when it's gone. I'm like, yeah, but something will replace it, because that's CG's way.
That's kind of my angle I was going for. Like,
watch Clone Troopers be the new
faction for the next
season.
Datacron set. Yeah.
It's like, dark side clones. Look at this go. It's like,
yeah, that oh man, does that mean we're gonna have those Datacron sets where it can roll either light side or dark side?
Oh
and
god,
it doubles up the
Did you
chances.
imagine?
No. We just put a handful of light side clones, but they're locked on dark side level 3s. So the gas level first.
Oh my god, right?
Still trash.
Yeah. We've got an ARC Trooper. We've got an ARC Trooper level 9, but it's on dark side clones, and it's like, fuck.
So the level 6 and 9 would be viable, because it would still be Clone Trooper tag level 6, but the 6 would be you'd have to have something that could work for the other clone teams like Bad Batch or
Yeah. I mean,
Dark
That
is it
wouldn't be
me or if they
completely
never
online.
really they've never really given a level 9 ability that has made 501st like really obnoxious. I'm not saying we've never had Datacrons that make 501st obnoxious, because they have, but there's never been like a
Well, I
level
don't think
9
so,
for
no.
gas, right? That's just made it horrendous.
Not that I can remember now.
But I mean, 501st needs a little to be horrendous. I mean, I
Yeah.
fought this round, my first round this current week of GAC. I fought a guy who had a 380% armor pen cron
Ooh. Oh, God.
on his gas team.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, if I hadn't used Lord Vader clones to deal with that, I didn't check the cron till like mid fight. Gas's AoE about one shot my board.
You're like, oh, wait a minute. Why does he hurt so bad?
Yeah, I need more things. Yeah, 380% armor pen. I was like, I made a mistake on what I thought was happening here. Thank God I chose a GL as a counter.
Yeah. I would love to have sorry, I would love to have like an OG Rex level 9 that was like, Rex has no cooldowns. He's like, form up and form up and form up and form up and form up and
like
aerial advantage.
I would like him to have whenever he uses form up, he takes a bonus turn, and whenever clones gain turn meter, they gain 5% stacking offense.
Oh.
I would love to watch fives die and get like 5,000% offense.
Oh man!
Past that though, I thought it was just his, like his base offense.
No.
Is it base?
Oh, don't they? Ooh,
I
is
think
it?
it's just his base.
Oh, okay.
I'll just pull it up real fast and look. It's not.
Let's just whip it out real quick.
I mean, you know, where's that guy? 5 tactical awareness.
No, his max.
Not base. Yeah.
So it should theoretically be whatever he's upgraded to, which is kind of cool.
Damn.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad.
That could be fun. Like, I'm just saying, like, it could be fun to have some stuff with clones.
Yeah.
That would make 501st like a real threat again. Because I remember those days in the good old land before Datacrons when you had 50 gases as part of your main TW wall.
And then just also have 5 sacrifice past the stats to gas himself too.
He does that. No, it's just well, you're right.
No, just to the clones. Have it
that
pass to gas as well.
That could actually be Gas's level 9. Whenever he sits down, he passes his max health, max protection, offense, speed to all his clone allies.
You would have to use like
I would mod him for no protection.
You'd have to use like Cal or Cat to like. You'd have to use like JMK to counter that. That would be fun. I would like that.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? Like every time he sits down, you're like, oh shit.
Now here's the thing though that I know everyone's super excited to talk about. With next week. Next week we'll get it. We will get the update for the next Datacron set, which will include 4 more focus Datacrons.
Oh yeah, God. Sick. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, sick. I like focus Datacrons.
So that's going to be really interesting to see what happens to the rest. So
there's going to be 8 focus Datacrons active at a time?
Yeah, well, that's what it's looking like. Potentially there will be a small window right now for 12. You'll probably get a 1 week overlap where you could do 12, but I mean that's going to be like beyond Kraken level of spending, and I'm not about that life.
No.
It was funny the first time to have 2 ready out the gate. Not every time.
I quite happily invest in all of them, because what I've found is even if all of the abilities are not the best, the stat dumps on them are usually really good, and they can always benefit some sort of team in like TW or something like that.
And I'll be honest with you, if you look at the individual, text dumps for upgrades, there are some that are just universally applicable, like Afra's Kron that just gives a locked out whenever they fall below 90, 70, 50% health. That is really applicable on a lot of dark side teams that change counters. So it's like it's like there's a lot
Yeah.
of things with that where they just have a lot of, and then the insane stats to go with it.
Mhm.
180% potency on most teams is going to be nutty.
Oh, well, I mean,
So
fucking the Zalbarkron gives 100% defense and 80% health. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty fucking nuts, you know?
yeah. Ray,
And if you've got any
Ray likes putting
scoundrels on
stats
there, you
together.
know, Ray loves those stats, 100%, you know.
Yeah.
There's like the debuffs ramping scoundrel offense, and if you happen to inflict four debuffs, you can reduce cooldowns and stuff like that on light side characters. There's some good stuff that can still get through, and if not, the stat dumps are still great. The stat dumps are still great.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing with the FDCs that I like where CG's head is at with them. I like, prescribed Datacrons that are like,
Yeah,
you just level them up and it's done. It's the cost. The cost with them is just
cost is huge. Yeah,
is
It's
huge.
pretty high, man.
Mm.
Like
It's up there.
You could easily have like another 5 Datacrons over.
They
that
are
one.
like four level 9s is kind of like a high level cost for them. For each one that you
Yeah.
take to level 15, that's 4 level 9s. Because I did like all of the FDCs before working on the rest of my crons. I was like going into GAC, I was like, shit, I've got like fuck all data crons.
Yeah.
Maybe I fucked up here.
Yeah, on my alt when I was doing them, I got the 2 I needed, which was Boba and Afra.
Afro, yeah, for sure.
And then I went and did the requested crons from the guild, and then went back and finished Zalbar and Hera for that exact reason. Because it's
That
like
makes sense. Yeah.
I could squeeze out like 10 or 12 through the first conquest if I just went and did those. But to try to do that one, I was only going to have like 2 level 9s, and I'm like, it's not a good trade. That's
Yeah.
not a good trade for me. So I feel like they need to kind of readjust the cost a little bit, or they need to give us
A
little
halfway
bit
house.
more of the upgrade materials available out of the crons. Because like right now, what I'm like low key terrified on is dusting cron management, because it's just going to be not this set right now, because purple's not going to be too crazy, but when the green set dusts, those folks at Acrons give 15 million a piece, so the 4 of them are going to give you 60 million cash. And so if you are reasonably invested into the other stuff, that's 4 million Datacron after that. So it's like you only get like 10 crons, and then you're going to be at max. So it's like you're going to have to start dumping, which means you either have to start farming conquest incredibly hard and fast, which I feel like that's what CG is going to do. That with that conquest ascension pass, that's going to make them so much money. Everyone's going to like just power Sector 4 and then dump that thing on it, just so they can start powering up their FDCs.
Yeah, just like those like 400 energies, whatever. How much energy is the total you get from that? Like several thousand energy you get from all that stuff. That's just,
it's like 3,000
Yeah.
at the max when it's all said and done.
So
and that's just the Ascension bundle. Then they also have the energy
CG knows
pack.
what they're doing with the packs.
They definitely do.
Whoever's the new pack manager.
You know where they're pushing the pressure points.
Well,
it's
I guarantee you that the pack manager is generative AI. They're just like, here's all the buying data that we've got. Let's throw that into AI and find the buying patterns of our consumer base. They were like, this is what you should do.
Literally because the update will go live this week. And then I guarantee you by next Sunday, they will release a pack to buy upgrade materials and data cache.
Oh, probably.
And then everybody at the top will just dump into that to get those FDCs for the last week of 5v5.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Also, just as a side note, there is always a chance that they do adjust the pricing and structure for the focused datacrons. Make them cheaper or make them around a little bit. So if we have enough response and have enough whatever, and we say, hey, these are too fucked up, these are too expensive, these are too whatever. I mean, they're probably not going to respond to us. They're probably not going to listen. But you know what? I can still hope.
Man could dream.
My caveat with the FDCs make sense because they are going to release an FDC around a pirate. We know that because they're going to do that with the Marquee. They said that with Apple.
Yes, they are.
Would be released as a bespoke cron, but moving forward, they would move signature like the bespoke crons to FDC. So we know that's going to be how they do the next one. So having,
Did they say that?
Yeah, it's in the post.
They're getting rid of bespoke crons?
The bespoke crons are moving to FTCs, essentially, is what they're going to do.
That's wild.
Seems...
Does
Yeah,
that
I
mean
don't know,
bespoke
like,
crons
less
are going to be even
incentive?
more powerful?
Yes, because you're only going to be able to acquire the bespoke cron from the marquee event, which it's going to be an FTC marquee cron. Like,
Yeah. So is it going to be a level 15, basically?
yeah. But their
Ouch.
whole reason, but
Wait, you said they weren't doing the bespokes. Wait, are they...
it's
So
a
but hold on.
hybridization.
So it,
So
it
you're
will be a
getting-
You'll get them
bespoke, but
from
they'll
the
be like
marquees then.
FTCs. They'll be
Okay.
locked in
Okay,
stats and
no,
stuff.
Yeah.
Because by the bespoke ones, I thought you sorry, by the FTCs, I thought you meant that you would get them from shipments. Like you would still be purchasing them from over there, not getting them through
Yeah,
the
so
marquee
it's-
event. That's
it's a-
what I thought you
it's a-
meant, like the
yeah.
source of getting them. Okay.
No,
that's what I
they're
was focused on.
hybridizing them, so it's you're still getting them
Okay.
from the event, but they're gonna play out like an FTC.
Gotcha.
The
Okay.
part that I find hysterical about that is that the
So they're
people
not getting
who
rid
will-
of bespoke crons.
No.
Okay.
yeah, just retooling them a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay.
The funny part to me though is, of course, they're talking about like, well, you can use your bespoke chronic Gear 5, right? Or these FTCs.
Yes.
Like, you can use them all at Gear 5. And I'm like, yeah, but to unlock it from the marquee event means you have to at least get that character to Relic 5. So it's like, I see what you're doing here, but like, is it really changing the scale? Like, if it's only available from the event still, like, or the marquee event, like, I still gotta get the character unlocked by the end of the event to be able
Well,
to take advantage of
The
that.
Apo, well, the Apo cron, you needed Apo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the clones, you already had the Apocron by that point. So
Yeah,
I'd be
but
able to use my Apocron right now with my Gear 11 Scorch.
well, if it was an FTC, then yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As it currently stands, then no.
I
But
would
that's-
be able to if it was that new form, Gear
Yeah.
5 or whatever. If you whale on the first one and then can use it with all the new clones when they come out.
It helps a little. I just don't think it helps enough. I feel like you're still going one out of the next team. You have to spend the $102 or $200
Yes.
to unlock to then have this cron for the next 4 months. I just feel like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I get where your head's at, but at the same time, like maybe we find a different way to release those to the players. But we'll
Maybe.
see. We'll see what they do with it. I'm interested to see what they do with that next set when they try to merge those two concepts together.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
So when are we actually getting the new FTCs? You did say
Next week.
next week. Holy shit.
It'll be with Jedi Vanguard's
So we'll probably get one
released.
for Jedi Temple Guard then.
Probably he would be the Jedi Vanguard that I would assume would get it, because his event will go live the following week, which is the week in which
Yeah, week and a bit. Week Tuesday.
Does that sound right? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's because of how they've been doing it. The only reason why we're going to get it next week instead of the week that he releases is because they will push the update for everything this week, and then Jedi Vanguard's marquee will launch next Tuesday.
So we're
So
saying
there
we'll
will be-
have new FTCs in the stores for a character that isn't even in the game yet for like 5 days.
Well, we don't. We are. The assumption is that his
that
FTC will come
possible?
with his marquee event.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when the update goes live, his info will be in the game straight away, won't it?
Yeah.
Like his
Well-
assets will be in the game, so technically you could push FTCs out for it.
But the FTC for him won't become available till his marquee event. You will get the other 4 FTCs when the refresh happens. What, Monday or Tuesday morning
Yeah.
at 6 a.m. for
Because those are
whatever?
like actual FTCs, not
Yeah,
like
the
the
actual-
marquee
Not
ones.
bespoke FTCs. Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
like the
Yeah.
regular, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
different-
I was getting confused. It's a confusing world we live in. What can I say?
So it'll be interesting to see how that all shakes loose. But
Yeah.
after the first one, I don't see the mad rush to get FDCs maxed early. I don't think it's worth
No.
the money to throw at it, because you're talking
no.
about
I think
30,000 crystals to get them done in. Well, actually, no, it's more than that.
it's definitely
It's like
not worth
45,000
getting them in
all four
day
done.
one. You're better off just waiting until Conquest starts,
Yeah.
blitzing your way to Sector 4, and
Yeah.
farming the crap out of Datacron materials, and get it for week 2. Like that's
Well, I mean, just get it for threes. Don't worry about
Mm.
getting it for 5v5. Like, it's just not for like 99% of the player base, unless the cron is absolutely just cranked out of your gourd.
Mm.
you're not gonna see it. There's the
One
number
week later. Guys, this car's cranked out of its fucking gourd, man. You need it, get it. Oh my god.
Yeah, those videos.
It turns every character into Bane.
The odds of you seeing that in the last week of 5
motherfucker.
Yeah. Bane's unique now allows him to have 3 additional allies. Ready, go.
Yeah. The rule of
but
four.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's not going to change enough for most players to where it's going to be like the make or break difference for a GAC round. And even if it is, it's a single GAC round. Like, if you're that desperate for the additional 700 crystals, maybe go work a quick little side job for grandma, moving her potted plants around, and get the $5 you need to compensate the crystals. Like, I just, if it's that important to you,
if it means that much, your boy.
There are ways around it. Like, I'm just saying.
Oh, dear me. Yeah, I'm always excited, though. FTCs are always fun. I agree with you. There's no point in rushing and wailing day one for them. They're not that powerful. Like the Boba Fett one was like that elevated a team from that's just basically useless to a team that can do some really good stuff. Like it's definitely worth having the Datacron. I mean, beating Queen Amidala teams in 5v5 alone for me is like, yep, fucking worth it. Beating Saw with Luthen and all the armies and Saw Datacron is like, yep, that's worth it. Like, it's definitely worth getting. It's just as good as a good level 9, right? But the others, like the Phoenix one, not really. It's kind of fun in 3s. It's kind of nice to have for the stat dumps, but you can wait until you've got like all the clutch level 9 Datacrons in the world. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see some really sexy FDCs in this next set.
Yeah.
The Phoenix one I skipped. The Zalbar one I just took to level 14 just for the stats. I use it in 3v3 on actual DR Zalbar. And then 5v5, it just goes and hangs out with Rey because it's lots of health and defense. Wonderful stat.
It's so good. Like 100% defense and 80% health is just kind of like, all right.
Yeah, honest to God, right now, all the FDCs that exist in the game right now are heavily offensively orientated to where you need to play with them on offense to get the most bang for your buck out of them. Otherwise, they just don't do anything. Like Boba Fett,
Afrocron is decent on defense,
but it doesn't change the counters. Like, it still allows the same teams to beat her.
Like, it definitely makes it hard.
It made it a lot. I forget what I used, but I used some team and I couldn't get Afra down. Like, I kept getting it down to like just Afra, then she would get a revive every fucking time.
I definitely lost against it with something, but I'm pretty sure, funnily enough, ironically enough, that Dadbod Boba beats it. It's like, okay. We use the FDCs to destroy the FDCs.
2 FDCs enter, 1 FDC leaves.
Yeah, I know I used it in 3s. I used Boba versus Afra and just slapped her around because they don't have a perma kill, and so they kept just killing Fennec repeatedly, and then Boba would just counterattack and kill.
That is the funniest. That is the funniest when that happens. He's like, "Oh, you killed Fennec," and he goes, and then she gets Bounty Hunter's Resolve again. You're like, "Hi, I'm back."
That's almost like the saddest thing. Like Fennec, a lot of the time, she doesn't do all that much.
She
sits there and dies repeatedly.
It's so funny because she's got that death mark clause, and you never get to see it because the game's over well before you're hitting 20 stacks of Emperor's Hand or whatever it is, loyal hand. So it's like she's got a really cool death mark clause that you will not see. They're dead by then.
There's no team.
I use that team pretty much every GAC, and I don't think I've ever actually seen that once.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it. It's great in theory.
I keep forgetting it's there, to be honest with you. Yeah. Like, you
just reminded me that it existed.
But to be fair, the loyal hand buff is still really good because that's passing like I think it's 10% offense and something else per stack. So that's still great because that's just extra damage. But you never get that death mark off, or you very rarely do. So it's a cool Datacron. I like that one. Yeah. That really didn't even know it was a thing. Right,
Oh,
I need to grab a beer. I am
Loyal
parched.
and is 10% max protection and offense per stat.
Offense. Oh, and max protection too. Woo. Back in a
Nice.
sec.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
There's just so much going on with that where it's just like I keep forgetting that they exist when I get through it because there's so many things that I'm like, there's no way Boba Fett counters that, so we're just gonna sidestep this. And then you get to the end of your thing, and you're like, hey, look, there's Afra still available for offense. There's Boba Fett. There's Sidious Solo. You know, like all these other things where it's like, I'm not quite sure what I trust to Solo yet because I don't really want to lose this round. But you know, yeah.
Well, it's week 1, so week 1 is always science time. So you got to fuck around, you got to find out, you got to see what's going to work, what's going to happen, and you know what? Sometimes that involves stepping on some brakes, and you know what? Sometimes it's enjoyable for those who are watching and not for us. But you know what?
Yeah.
These things happen.
Yeah, I like my brain just doesn't even think of them as an option. I don't go down the road and be like, you know what's gonna counter this? I get to it. I'm like, I forgot that you even existed. My bad. Let's try this again.
No, clearly you need to be more like Scribe on Friday Night GACs and just have all of the alcohol and then be like, this is buttons.
Yeah.
And then just win.
Clearly I'm not pressing auto hard enough. That is my downfall.
Clearly. You gotta, like, whatever the dumbest team you can possibly think of, that's the one that you gotta use. And then just pray that Jesus takes the wheel, and then move on with your life, you know. And then you're pro, you're good, you're awesome.
Always.
No one's ever gonna keep you down.
That's a great song.
What's up? I know, right?
Well, you know it's dangerous to speak quotes of songs to me.
Well, it's not dangerous. It's intentional.
We've got a scribble bingo. When does he sing? When does he talk about his baldness? When does he fuck up and gag? We've got like another 6 of those because it happens so frequently.
You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
But if your friends don't dance and never they can dance, and no friends of mine.
That's where my head went. We started listing that off. I'm like, I feel like we're leading into a little safety dance.
Yeah.
Right here.
Sounds great.
Sounds
great. So I forget, what were we talking
We
about?
just ticked off 2 things on my bingo card.
Wolfie's like, house!
We're halfway there. Almost to bingo.
Man.
I love it. So we should be getting the kit reveal for Jedi Temple Guard like soon, TM.
Monday?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Monday?
Well, not tomorrow. I doubt they'll be in the office.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Memorial Day.
Bank holidays. Do you guys call it bank holidays in the States? I have no idea.
Yes.
Well, we call
Bank
most of them
holidays?
federal holidays.
Well, either or.
Okay.
Same thing basically.
I only ask is because when I was talking about
the banks aren't open. That's the other thing.
the only reason I say is because when I said it in my last stream that we've got a bank holiday, I had someone say, "What's a bank holiday?" I was like, "It's a holiday."
It's where all the bankers get together.
It's the days when
jump in
the
the
banks
vault
are
and spend the
closed
money.
and stuff, and
Hey, y'all,
can't
Mr.
do
Scrooge.
the banky thing.
Well,
You got no money.
it's when they can swim through their pools full of gold, like Scrooge McDuck. Just be like, "Yep, I'm so fucking rich." Yeah, no, it's when the whole country closes down, basically. Apart from hospitality, which get very busy because every other fucker on the planet is off work.
Where everything closes down except for
It
everybody.
really sucks for them.
Yeah. Except for the service industry.
I had to. It reminds me that I don't have work tomorrow. Well, I don't have work tomorrow.
Carthage is like, I just choose when I work, to be honest.
I mean, it's the benefit of being in charge, but I gave my guys the option if they wanted the 3-day holiday or not because it's not a paid day off. And so I'm like, if you guys want to come work, that's fine. We can go to work. But if you don't, then I'm not coming. So
that felt
showing up
feels like kind of a subtle hint of, don't you guys fucking dare show up for work on Monday.
I don't care. It's an all or nothing approach. I've had it split before, and I hate it because you get like 2 guys to show up to work out of your like 6-man crew, and so like you have to find something for them to do for the 8 hours that day. And at that junction, I'm just like, I'd just rather send you guys home with 8 hours pay, but then it's not fair to the guys who left because now they're not getting paid. So it becomes more things I have to do, and it's really half-assery. You don't get anything done.
That does
Like,
sound like a ball ache, I'll be honest.
either everybody shows up to work today or everybody goes home. Either or. I don't care what the answer is. Just I'm not showing up for half of you. That's it.
That's not how this is going to fly. Not today, sir. Not today. Yeah, so that's
for a little
cool.
while, like I remember for a little while we had like Monday holidays off. But we already have people who only work Tuesday through Friday, like a 10-hour day sort of thing.
Those
So
fucking
we would
part
have to, like-
timers.
Yeah, well, it's not. No, it's still full time, but they would just do
Oh,
it
really?
full time.
Oh, they do like condensed hours, do they? Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that's
so they
different.
would do 10-hour days as opposed to 8-hour days. So whenever we had like Monday off for a bank holiday or something like that, like tomorrow, we ended up having to give people off on Friday the day before, so they would get like extra days. So they would also get time off. Like to make it fair for them, so we would get like extra holidays whenever we would get the extra days off. So we're like, yes, thank you, people, for being fucked up schedules. We now get 4-day weekends as opposed to 3. Don't
That is
ask me how
amazing.
it worked, but for some reason it worked out, and then
Hey
they
man,
stopped doing it.
sometimes you just don't question the math. Sometimes
It was great
looks great.
for a couple years, and then they just were like, actually, we're not doing this anymore.
fair enough.
And then just stopped. It was like, fuck. I got used to the 4-day weekend thing. It was nice.
It's such a, like Scribe put it, it's a ball ache to juggle some days. It's just like,
Yeah.
we got too much shit to do. Like, just let's go.
And sometimes you don't want to be juggling balls. You know, sometimes you don't.
Sometimes,
Sometimes you do.
I
Sometimes you
prefer
do.
to pass off that
You gotta juggle balls.
responsibility to somebody else.
Sometimes you gotta gargle. I mean, juggle. What?
Sometimes you got to goggle. You got to work the shaft and goggle the balls. Okay, guys. Mm-hmm.
See? Scribble noise.
All right, we went there. We went there. It's all good. Oh, just as Salia comes into the chat, I like talking about
I was trying to be subtle about it.
goggling balls.
God damn.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't be the first time that I've talked about goggling balls on stream. It's fine.
No.
I think we can get away with it. So, in other Swugger news, I went out to my first over 30s day party last night. And by last night, I mean yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, but I say over 30s, like those are like start at 1, done by 7.
Close.
Swigo news.
It was start at 3, finish at 8 or half 8 or something like that, or 9 o'clock. Can't remember. And yeah, it was.
Be home and asleep by 9, like a normal adult.
I mean, it was. Yeah, I was home. I was home for like 10 p.m. Successfully drunk, and I was in bed before midnight, which is so not like me.
Wow.
So I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? And then I refused to get out of bed, so I stayed in bed until a reasonable time. Yeah, genuinely, I was like, I'm awake.
That is my biggest problem with going to bed like early, is waking up at like you wake up like at 4 or 5 in the morning. If I don't get out of bed at that time, and I fall back asleep, like I might as well have just been wake up like hungover as shit, because I feel so out of it if I only get like 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
It's like I have to get up.
Something about interrupting your REM sleep, isn't it? Like it makes you really groggy. Your sleep cycle. You're supposed to sleep 4-hour cycles or some shit. And if you wake up at like 3, you feel like shit.
So when I wake up naturally, it's just like we're getting out of bed. We're not doing this.
Oh yeah, no, I refused. When it was 4:30 in the morning, I was like, not a chance. No. So I got up at 9.
Gym, did a little rock climbing at 4:30.
They don't open that early. It opens at 10.
Find
the building then. Fuck.
Scale the building.
Where's the commitment? Come on.
What could possibly go wrong? You're obviously not committed enough, Scribe. Yeah, it was fun though. I did enjoy it. My endearing takeaway from it was though, and I'll tell you something about it in a second that you will laugh at. My endearing quality of it was in a big warehouse, massive warehouse, and inside the warehouse there were like bars and takeout joints, right? So you could order food, and there was like a massive hall full of big benches and tables, and there was like a front stage with live music. It was kind of cool. Don't get me wrong. It was like a festival type thing.
Food court kind of thing.
Yeah, that sort of thing,
like
right?
A festival thing. Okay.
but it was
I'm here
you
for it.
had to be over 30. So one, it wasn't rammed,
Really?
and two, there was no fighting. It was great. And it was all playing like 80s, 90s, and noughties music, so it was pretty good.
Actually, a literal age limit. Like you actually had
it's
to be at
it's
least
an over
30 to get
30.
in
Yeah,
there?
it was an over 30s
Wow.
day party, right?
Damn.
But we ended up
liked it.
basically outside on the benches outside drinking all night anyway, and I was like, I could have just gone to a beer garden, to be honest, and not pay the entry fee for the ticket. But the vibes were cool.
Yeah.
It was fun. The funny thing that I was going to bring up was you could order through the app, right? They had like a QR code you scan, so you could order your drinks from the bar and someone comes and delivers it to you.
Sure.
Yeah? From like
Were they on roller skates?
a couple of 100 yards away. No, they were on feet. That would have been great if they were on roller skates, although probably fraught with danger. The funny thing was there was a delivery fee. And you can fucking see the bar. You're like, you're over there. There's a fucking £1.30. It's not a big delivery fee, but it's the principle. Like fucking, I can see you.
Do they also suggest gratuity and say, also give us a tip?
Also, maybe a 20% tip as well. I was like, you fucks.
Either or.
on
You
this
get one,
$12
not
drink.
both.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I was just like, the cheek on them. So we didn't realize until after we did it once.
$5 drink, you tip $1 or $2, something like that for the drink. Sure, that's fine. But like, also have your £1.30 delivery fee. What the hell?
It was.
That is really funny though.
It was just. It was fun. It was tremendous fun. But yeah,
do you guys do as much tipping over there?
We tip, but it's not like you tip for everything. And to be honest, it's very common now in the UK for a service charge to be added to the bill, like as default.
Gross.
Yeah,
Gross.
it's always
Gross.
optional service charge, so you can challenge it, but most people obviously don't because we're British and we don't like to be rude.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, dude, we had a new restaurant open in town that did an 18% mandatory service charge on your meal, no matter what.
yeah,
And
mandatory.
That
That's
restaurant
Not
had
enforceable, but
No, it's because it's not a tip; it's a service charge. It's different. It's like a fee for eating there.
those fucks.
It isn't.
oh, they just like
It-
have an extra just service
Yeah,
charge.
no, we
It's not
just-
even-
we just
that's not
we
even
just-
the gratuity.
Yeah, it's not gratuity. It's literally a service charge. We're just gonna force you to pay our wait staff because we don't want to pay them.
Wait. So is that a tip on? Do you have to tip on top of that?
Yeah, you can
probably
if
hope.
you'd like to. If
But
you'd
so
like
that
to.
is the gratuity then. So it's not a. It's
They-
it's
not-
as
no,
whatever.
no,
That-
no,
that
no,
still
no,
is
no,
a
no.
tip then.
No, not
But if
how
that's
they
what
look
it
at it.
is,
It's what they can apply it towards, but it's not what it is. Like it's a
Alright,
convoluted
legally
thing.
speaking, I don't think that would actually stand. Okay, granted, I'm not a lawyer, but I do not
no.
think that would actually stand up.
All I'm saying
That sounds like
is
some
that-
absolute fucking bullshit. As somebody who has
It
been, a server, a waiter, a bartender, everything in the past, that is some absolute horseshit.
Yeah, because
Oh my
you
Yeah,
just
no,
know that if you've got service charge, you're not going to see that tip. It's not like you're going to get it. It's just going to go in the profits
Oh,
of the
yeah.
restaurant.
No,
So-
yeah, exactly. That's
and
what
nobody's
it's for.
going to
It's-
tip as well as service charge, right? Like,
No,
nah.
literally, the service charge was their whole shtick was that this service charge goes towards paying for the benefits of our employees, but doesn't go to the employees directly.
That's
Oh,
what your
fuck
profit
off.
is supposed
And
to
I
be
was
for,
like,
you fucks.
Exactly. Well, but I'm like, if that's like that was the big selling point, right? We're doing this to help give our employees a better environment. I'm like, then make your stupid plates cost $1 more. Like, why do I have to pay you 18% more on a service charge for shitty service and shitty food? Because well, it's for our employees. I'm like, all
The
right,
service
well, I'd rather.
industry is so fucked in this country.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Although
and-
I will say, also the 18% thing is just also kind of insulting to me personally, because when I was working as a server, waiter, bartender, everything, 18% was like kind of lowballing. Like if you were doing good, you were getting like 20% as a baseline. There was times you're chilling, you get like 25%. You if you're somebody's actually like you're having a good like conversation, good whatever, like you're helping people out and everything. People will generally help you out, and they'll be a lot more like willing to do that if they're not being forced to pay something by default and whatnot.
Yeah. That sort of tipping
to whatever around the thing.
well,
but,
that sort of tipping
tips
isn't
was like-
really prevalent in the UK.
Yeah. You tip for basically better service. That's kind of what you're aiming for. But like I live in Washington.
Yeah.
Washington State is you are minimum wage plus tips. So you are required to pay out your waiter the state's minimum wage, and then they earn tips on top of that. So I wouldn't say
we
in our
have
particular state
we have like a lowered minimum wage. When I was working as a waiter, you got like $1.60 an hour.
Holy fuck.
So you're in a state that allows.
Jesus.
So so in that state, they were allowed to let tips make up the difference of the minimum wage that they had to be paid.
That is so fucked.
Yeah, that one I agree with. But when people talk about like my state, I'm like, no, you make the state minimum wage, which is one of the highest in the country, then you get tips on top of that.
What is state minimum wage in your state?
So my state, it's $16.50 an hour.
Yeah, so that's fine.
New Jersey, I believe, is like $8.75.
That's still shit, though. I mean, obviously, it's a lot better than $1.60.
But let's put it this way: with the service industry right
more
now,
than that off of tips.
Obviously, of course you would, but fuck, you need those tips.
You could make well over $100 off of tips just like from like one night of like going around like doing like service sort of stuff. Like you as long as you were doing your work, you were making money. You were still like profiting off of that everything. But your
it's
base
funny.
pay was just shit.
It's because like streaming and content creation is a little bit like that. It's like your minimum wage. That minimum wage is $0. All right, you might get tips or subs. That's your wage. So it's like if you're if you're a big guy and you got a lot of people watching you, you probably could earn some good money and you can get some ad revenue, and then you might not ever find anything and you make no money.
Yeah, it's just in my particular state where people complain about it. I'm like, I think they're at least in our state is they're paid quite well for what they do. I grant that there are shitty people all across the world that are just treat people like crap. There are shitty business owners that screw their employees left, right, and center. I get that, but like where I'm looking at it, especially like if you're there's at a point where it's like if you get a $5 every 30 minutes, you're making more money an hour to basically hand people food and drinks. I know that's oversimplification of things. Then the guys out, framing and doing construction work and concrete and that kind of stuff make, because they can only make their their minimum wage in the hour. Mm-hmm. So it's like in my particular state, I don't feel for waiters, and I feel less obligated to tip them because they're the whole culture.
But I also know you, Carl, and you're not against tipping in general.
No,
but you just want to tip for good service.
Oh yeah, no.
And that's really the thing. Like it really depends. Like as a server, like what you're doing, like what you're actually everything. Because we would have like I remember when I was working as a waiter, we would have like a meeting, like a whole staff meeting and whatnot. As the owner would go over, here's the menu, here's where we're going, and we want to as you're selling this, here's you want to sell this. As you're selling this, here's you want to describe these things, and it's like. As a waiter, you are in sales. You're selling yourself. You're selling the business. You're selling the food, the product, the everything. You are literally a salesman. That is, what your job is over there, and you're trying to present things in the best way possible and describe things as in certain ways. And it is actually pretty involved, to be doing stuff like that. So if you're actually doing your job and actually like selling stuff properly, then it's a little bit different. Different than if you're just sort of. Bringing some food to a table and that's about it.
If I see you the 4 required times for our interaction and that's all I see and hear from you the entire time, I don't think I should be obligated to pay you a 20% tip. That's all I'm going to say to it. Now, if I walk into a bar that I frequent and the waitress makes eye contact with me and asks me for the usual, and as I'm sitting down, she's bringing over the entire table a rack of beers. Yeah, I'm going to give her like a 50% tip.
I want to go to that bar.
That's what I want.
I want to go to that bar. They not know who I am and still ask me if I want my usual. And old fashioned just comes to my table.
arm.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I love that. There was a time where I used to frequent a bar here in town for lunch meetings and stuff like that. So whenever the waitress saw me come in, she would just bring me. She would look at me and go the usual and then hold up a finger of how many were coming. And so I just shoot the fingers back to her for how many were going to be there. And then she would bring, they're called big dogs, but they're 22-ounce beers. And so she would bring that many to the table. Like as we were sitting down, like she would like jump ahead, get everything done and bring it to us real quick. And I was like, yeah, no, you're going to get like.
That's great service.
$80 bill,
Also,
$50 tip.
Yeah. Also, real quick, just back to this in a second, but just shout out to George Wendt did unfortunately just pass away. Norm from Cheers, but so moment of silence for our boy George Wendt. But
to George Wendt, I've never watched Cheers, but
yes.
to George Wendt.
Oh, you're missing out, man.
You ever seen Cheers? Oh, it was a fun show.
It was a fun show.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I know that they're a big part of pop culture, and a lot of what we see today is because of things like Cheers. So I can respect the legacy.
I'll tell you one thing: a lot of the characters Woody plays later in life are a lot funnier if you've watched them as the character from Cheers.
Woody who? Sorry,
I remember. What's his name? The bartender. Can't remember his name.
I forget.
Is Woody the name of the character or the actor?
Woody Harrelson is the name of the actor.
Oh, I know Woody Harrelson. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So in the let's see, who did he play in Cheers?
There we go.
Yeah, because like I liked him in fucking Zombieland.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny to watch.
He's got so many roles, man.
Yeah, it's funny to watch him in Cheers and then watch other stuff with him in it because it's just such a young version of him. But you can see how that character impacted a lot of his acting later in life.
Mm-hmm.
And then seeing him also play like really gritty roles after watching that, it's hilarious to watch. Because like your brain,
white man can't jump.
Well, he's kind of an airhead in Cheers, and so it's kind of fun to watch that bleed out in a lot of other things. It's just interesting. That's all.
I just had to Google it because I forgot I just like to remind myself. It's been a minute because I was like, wasn't the main all right, whatever. The full character's name: Woodrow Huckleberry Tiberius Boyd.
What a great name. Woodrow Huckleberry Tiberius Floyd. Nice.
Boyd.
Oh, okay.
Boyd.
So yeah, so
Boyd.
Woody Harrelson played Woody Boyd in the show. Okay, so yeah, it was the same name. All right, that's why I couldn't think of the other actor name that came with it. But yeah, no, it's
I like it.
He's a funny guy to watch. Like to have the context of Cheers and then go watch his other works. It's kind of funny.
Was that a coincidence, or was that kind of like a Will Smith type scenario in Fresh Prince?
No idea.
Fair.
No idea.
Absolutely not.
Maybe one day I'll watch Cheers. I probably won't, but maybe one day. Who knows?
I mean, it's one of those things that you kind of have to like just grab a.
Was Cheers a spin-off of something else? Was Frasier a spin-off of Cheers? Is that right?
Frasier was a spin-off from Cheers. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew there was something like that, right? And I've not really watched Frasier either. I've seen a couple of episodes.
There's a couple. Aren't there a couple others that eventually came from that, or was it just Frasier? Don't remember. I would have to go look. It's all right. Back to Swugga.
Back to Swugga. So Battlefront 3.
No, wait. We were talking about Swigger. We're talking about going to bars and stuff, and
we're talking about
tipping culture.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's.
Anyways,
I mean, it's very pertinent to Galaxy of Heroes because microtransactions. There's basically tips, except instead of service, you get like signal data and
all the
stuff.
Trouble we could get the devs into if you could tip a dev directly.
Oh my god. Oh, could you imagine? The better the kit, the more you tip the dev that designed the kit.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Oh, I'd love to see that. Get a group on Reddit.
Lord Vader would get like no tips.
Everyone just picks some random dev who's like new to the studio, gives them like thousands of dollars in tips for developing of a brand new kit.
All right, who amongst you, who is responsible? Who the hell designed Cup? You'd be a millionaire, man.
I was going to say, the kit is shit, but you have reached meme status. You and that guy who invented Clone Wars Chewbacca, he was shit until we started giving away 3 Clone Wars Chewie shards.
Just everybody who bought the R9 cut pack, just another $5 to the dev who developed the kit. Okay, ready, break.
Right? Oh my god.
That guy
making
minted.
like probably he would probably make like 2 to 3 years salary, maybe 2 years salary in like a weekend.
2 days.
Imagine if he actually got like commission from that.
That would be so good.
Hilarious.
Yeah, 20% of all the cup proceeds goes to the kit designer.
Right? That would be
That'd be amazing.
Well,
I'd love to know if that was a thing.
Watch the product quality change so drastically because now the devs are the ones with their asses on the line for what they can make out of it. It's just like all of a sudden, like everything's super polished, well tested. They've got
tipping culture is entirely different.
Yeah.
It's like your base salary is $10,000 a year. However, for each Lightspeed bundle you sell, you get 20% of the proceeds.
You joke, but apparently there's actually some stuff going on. I don't want to get too political on this stream, but there is apparently some moves to like do a no tax on tips kind of thing, and apparently it's being written broadly enough that you just as an accountant or as an executive or as a lawyer or whatever can just be like, I have I get paid $20 an hour, but then I accept tips of $80 an hour. I thank you very much.
Garth is like,
so, yeah,
write that down.
shit
Write
like
that down.
Could actually happen.
Whoopie, you shush.
So yeah, it's like,
I'm no longer getting a bonus from work, guys.
yeah.
I am getting tips. Okay.
Yeah,
It's a tip
exactly.
for services
You're. I
I am
have a
still
very low
disappointed in
salary
that.
of $5,000 a year, and then I get my bonus every year of $500,000. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
It still does annoy me that my annual bonus does get tipped at standard rate. It's I know based on it gets taxed. Yeah, it gets taxed the same rate as my normal income, and it's like. Yeah. That's so annoying, dude. Like, I see this big chunk of cash come in once a year, and I'm like, I'm looking for where the fuck did it all go? You fucks.
Yeah. No, I know how you feel. It's I get that thing every once in a while too. It's like, oh, here's a bonus, and you watch a third of it leave.
Yeah.
I mean, that number was up here, and now the number's down here, and I don't like the disparity.
Our
between what I block the government.
Our work has a bonus sacrifice scheme. Where you can sacrifice your entire annual bonus and it will go straight into your pension, which they'll match like 10% of, like from their own contributions. So it won't get taxed straight away. It'll just get taxed when you withdraw from your pension in 100 years' time for me, because that's when I'll retire. So that's one way of doing it, but that doesn't really help that much because you're still getting taxed. It's just getting taxed later. And if your pension performs badly, you're probably actually paying more taxes in the long run. But there you go. Death and taxes, boys. Death and taxes. Oh, and human stupidity. These are the constants of the human condition in the universe. So yeah.
Indeed. These things happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
do we have any tribe talk questions to get to today?
I have no fucking clue. I haven't looked.
I don't think we do.
We went through a lot last time.
We went through them all last time.
We may have had a little bit of a build-up,
We did have a build-up.
I think some professional streamer over on this particular podcast probably forgot to do an announcement at some point.
Listen, man, we've been doing Tribe Talks now for years. If they don't know how to get the Tribe Talks questions in the Tribe Talks channel.
Whoa! Hold on. In their defense, we took like a month hiatus. They didn't know we were coming back. Or
it was actually longer than a month. It was like 2. I saw when I went to the podcast site to upload it to. I was like, oh shit, we took some time off.
Yes.
Whoopsies. Oh, there's a good Tribe Talks question. How's that shop counter looking?
A diabolical, absolutely. No, actually, I don't.
Now listen, in fairness, that last thing didn't get added to the counter.
No,
so,
no.
You know,
If we call that last
otherwise, Fred would be
thing,
drunk until Christmas.
well, that there would be more shots on that shot
thing,
counter
yeah.
than there are days in the year, which is kind of insane.
Yes.
So, but he specifically said,
Quite
don't add
literally.
it to the shot counter because you might all die. So
Not
Yeah.
might. We would all die.
You would be
you
dead.
would die. And the thing
If it had to be
is
redeemed even like a year's worth of streams, you'd
And
probably
then
might
you would
liver
have to pay
failure.
for my funeral, and I don't think that's enough money to cover that. So
no,
all right.
it isn't. And then we would be in worse position
Then
than we
we'd be
were
in the
before.
hole and just
Yeah. It's just a thing, right? It's just a thing. So actually the shot counter is very low because we got through almost all of them. Allegedly. I did run out of whiskey very quick because I didn't buy any. But that was the problem, was like I'd gone to Leicester for work, which is about 3-4 hours away, for a work event. And that was like half-day training, meal out, open bar, drinks at the club, then up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed
At
for
the
half the
club.
morning of training, and then travel back home another like 3-4 hours. And then I was fucked and hungover and tired and grumpy. And then we did that night stream, and I drank a little bit. Not crazy. We didn't go crazy on the Friday night because I knew I was then going to an all-day party, basic all-day party, 3 until 9-ish party in town.
6-hour party.
And I'm just like, my liver just wants a bit of a break. So I decided Tribe Talks, I would just have some whiskey and drink some beer. You know? That's my liver. So this was supposed to be my day off from drinking, and I thought I'd see it through with a nice relaxing drink.
We can't quit all
That
at once. You know?
makes
No, there'll be a shock
sense.
to the system if I just didn't drink
Yeah.
anything at all. So, you know. Robbie's like, pussy,
Checks out.
I'm still drinking. Shut your mouth, Robbie.
it's beer. It still counts. Damn it! Shut
Still-
up.
He's like, that's Budweiser. That don't count for shit. Because what I have found invariably, it doesn't matter what I drink on stream, people will bitch. So I've got
Well,
to the
yeah,
point now where I just don't care.
Hundreds of people watching, they're all gonna have their preference on alcohol.
Yeah.
My dad's favorite saying with Budweiser is that you can't get you drunk if it's the same color going in as it is going out. I was like, all right, that's not how that works, but all right.
I don't think alcohol content is based on the color.
No, it's not.
No,
But-
it isn't. No, it isn't.
No, but Coors Light is it's very
It's pretty
very-
light.
it's
I
very-
mean,
Coors Light,
it's-
Bud Light.
Isn't
That's all.
the,
It's all.
the hint in the name? It's light. This isn't Bud Light. Is Bud
It's-
Light
well,
a
it's
thing?
light
Not-
in it's light by calories, not by alcoholic percentage.
Oh, right.
they're-
Okay.
I believe it's also a little bit lower percentage too.
Yeah, I like
I'm
by
not,
like
I'm not
half.
100% on that, but yeah, I think
Oh,
it's
this Bud is
I don't know if it's that low, but it's definitely
4.5%,
lower.
so it's not exactly high.
Yeah, yeah. Coors Light's the same. It's the same as that.
Fair.
aside from that, it's just not good beer. Actually, okay, so Bud Light is 4.2%.
Okay, so it's a little bit
Yeah.
lighter. It's like 10%.
Good as relative. If you're drinking to get smashed, Bud Light's your friend. But well, not Bud Light. Coors Light for me. I wouldn't.
I say
drink Bud Light. I
Coors
hate Bud
Light, like their selling point is literally, hey, we got these mountains and they're on our beer can,
and they're blue when
they-
the can's
they
cold.
turn-
Ready
they
go.
turn
It's
blue.
got a gimmick.
They turn
Yeah.
they turn blue when the can is cold enough that you won't actually be able to taste the beer. All right, once it's no longer blue, just be
Yeah.
warned, be aware, you might actually have to taste this shit.
Yeah.
but up
And
until
you,
that
and
point,
you'll regret
you're
it.
safe.
But if you
Oh
get
my
enough of
God.
it into you while it's still blue, then you'll be drunk enough not to care that
Yeah.
it's no
It's
longer
just-
blue.
it's the game, you know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%.
But,
But, you
to be
know, if
fair, like somebody, like there is no selling point to me for a light beer. I would sooner drink an alcohol-free beer than a 2% light beer. I don't understand. Like, just drink a normal beer or don't.
I feel like if you're drinking for alcohol's sake, it's like why are you gonna go this route? Do you just want to just drink calories? At that point, go get some soda. Like,
Well, if you want to drink like and have it be light, you know, not have like tons of sugar calories or anything like that, or carbs or anything like that, drink some fucking whiskey, drink some
I did.
vodka, drink a pure alcohol that doesn't
Just get
have
ethanol.
Yeah,
Rub it in
carbs
your
it.
eyes.
get me some gin and
Just-
soda.
Just get some pure alcohol that does not pure alcohol, but like get some hard alcohol that does not have any carbs in it. There's no carbs in whiskey. There's no sugar and anything like that. So it just
I think there is.
just
I
have
think
that.
there is quite a lot of sugar in whiskey, isn't there?
There's
and
zero
rum.
sugar in whiskey.
Is there not?
There's zero sugar in rum.
That's not true. That's definitely not true. How much sugar
it's
in
made
rum?
from? It's made from sugar, but the final product has zero carbs.
Oh, right. Okay, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I was like, there's no way there's no sugar in it. Like, there has to be. How'd they make it taste so delicious?
The final product has zero carbs. I mean, something like Malibu has sugar in it.
Yeah, because it's got additional shit thrown in.
That's
Yeah,
a different thing.
Yeah, that's
But something like just like a regular, like your fucking Captain Morgan. I don't think there's any carbs in Captain Morgan.
I think I got rid of the bottle. It was empty. I imagine the missus threw it. She's good like that. She just comes in and, like, after my Friday nights, she's like, I better clean up all this shit. The joy. The joy. Zero sugars in whiskey. That's wild. I always assumed there was.
Yeah.
Unless you throw Coke in it, and then there definitely is.
Well, yeah, obviously. But any of like the pure alcohols, stuff like that you see around, yeah, they're clean.
They're clean. It's okay. They're clean.
Oh yeah.
That's a lyric from
gin and soda. Gin and soda.
Now, sorry, that's not always true.
Albuquerque.
There are like some whiskeys that I have seen which will like they'll color the whiskey with like caramel and stuff. Like, so there will be some ones where like,
oh yeah,
in there, like,
flavored or something, is it?
Like those ones, yeah, those ones obviously you gotta be aware of. But anybody worth the fucking weight.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Can't tell me that the peanut butter whiskey is free of.
Why the fuck would there be a peanut butter whiskey?
It's a growing trend in the States right now.
Screwball is the company, is the brand. Peanut butter whiskey. Yeah, it's.
It's a growing trend. It's like Fireball all over again.
I'll be honest. I love both of those things independently. Just, I don't think those things should be clapping hands. You know, some things should not be brought together. Just because it works with chocolate doesn't mean it works with whiskey. All right.
There are people who swear by it. I'm not one of them, nor will I ever be one of them, because it's not two flavors I'd like to ever mix. Because
I tried it once at a bar, never again.
It's just, peanut butter shouldn't burn like that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Peanut butter is sweet.
It was a bar I went to a lot, and I knew the bartenders, and they were like, "Yo, Wolf, you got to try this shit. We'll give you a half a shot just to taste it for free." And I was like, "All right, fuck it, why not?"
I'm down.
Like, I'm glad it was only half a shot.
I can't believe you made me put this in my mouth. I think you should pay me for that. Oh, dear me.
Yeah, it was not good. I was very thankful I didn't need to buy an entire bottle to learn that it wasn't good. But you know what?
Yeah,
lesson learned.
Should get those little sample bottles. That was a very satisfying uncorking, by the way, Wolfie. That made a real satisfying.
It was a good one. Yes.
Bread
Irish
rest.
Whiskey.
Yeah, Irish whiskey. Yeah, it's good times. It's good times. So, no Tribe Talks questions.
We had one.
Oh, did we?
We had one.
Did I
We've
delete
been
it?
talking about the Tribe Talks question for the last 10 minutes.
It's just kind of one we already kind of had a little bit on. But there is one. There is one there.
Oh, yes. What's your top 4 FDC wish list for the next set from Bubba Joe? Hit me.
Star Killer.
Oh, he doesn't need an FDC. Fuck me. Unless it's to make him worse.
No. I want Star Killer to be able to solo. I want him to activate his own uniques, give him outrageous buffs, and then just like.
I can't believe that's where you went with, instead of Star Killer summons Proxy into the ally slot. That's where you should have gone with.
I was about to say something about Proxy. Yeah.
As a marquee, though, that's what's gonna happen. Just give me Proxy.
The day that Proxy releases to the game is the day we have to stop doing Tribe Talks. Like, because
we've achieved our goals.
Yes, we have achieved our goals.
If that is the actual purpose behind Tribe Talks, to get Proxy in the game, then at that point we will have achieved what we have set out to do. So
Yep. And on that time, we'll get Meathead
guys.
on the call. We'll get Meathead in and we'll say, so Meathead, I hope you're happy. You have caused the death of Tribe Talks with the release of Proxy, but we're very happy.
Or if Proxy comes to the game and Meathead has to come onto our show to say farewell to Tribe Talks, then I feel like he has to say farewell as community manager. Just kind of close out the era on a strong note.
Wrap it up. No, so they can never release Proxy. We can't lose Meathead as well. It's one thing to lose Tribe Talks, but we can't lose Meathead as well. That would just be final nail in the coffin.
All right. Well, we'll compromise. Meathead gets promoted, and we bring Joe Rogan on as a guest.
Yeah, Joe Rogan will turn up to our podcast, I'm sure.
We could give him a boost. I mean, he's nowhere near the ranks of highest
the prestige
Galaxy of Heroes podcasts.
No.
As far as Galaxy of Heroes goes, we're doing a lot better than Joe Rogan over here. So we can learn a thing or two about it.
That guy doesn't know shit about Galaxy of Heroes.
He doesn't know a damn thing about Star Wars. Come on.
All we'd have to do is we'd just have to get him to talk about bears, and he'd be down. Like that guy loves talking about bears and the shit that they can do. So it would be an easy sell, I think. We just need we need a bear character to get released for
we have murder bears, so
yeah, but I don't think that's going to quite tickle the taint of Joe Rogan. I think he's going to need a little bit more bear action.
I don't know. You think Joe Rogan is an Ewok fan?
Could be.
Is he an Ewokist?
Ewok or anti-Ewok?
I'm willing to find out. I'm just saying, willing to find out.
Yeah. So what we've decided so far, guys, is that we really want a Joe Rogan FDC.
Yes.
So Karth wants a Star Killer one, but he doesn't want it to summon Proxy.
I didn't say that. I just wasn't going down that rabbit hole at the time. I'm just saying, if Proxy was going to come to the game, give it to me full time, not for 4 months. That's all I'm saying. That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay. How about you, Wolfie? Any FDCs that you'd love to see to the game?
Man. It's
like
tough because you're just asking like, what random ass character do I want to just be like the tits for a few months?
Pull up your roster, flip it upside down.
That's basically that's what I'm doing. I'm just like,
flip it upside down.
Random ass character do I just want to be absolutely freaking amazing for a while?
Give me one for Clone Wars Chewie. Give me one for
I would take a Clone Wars Chewie FGC.
Yeah.
Clone Wars Chewie would be good.
Tarful good again.
Yeah, give me a Tarful one.
Or for the first time.
Make Wookiees actually work. I mean, that's basically it. It's just like which random ass shit tier character or like somebody who's only really, really, really good with a Datacron do I just want to be fucking amazing? So you know what? Let's make Pow. Just like Pow has the power, and he's Sakala! He's just gonna be fucking crazy and just blow everybody up, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that sounds
why
good.
The hell not?
Mine will have to be.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be down for that one. Mine will have to be, just for thematic reasons alone, Princess Leia. I need them to make Princess Leia fucking like a nuclear bomb. You know what I mean? She's Hiroshima incarnate.
I need Princess Leia and Admiral Akbar's armies to go off the chain and to validate.
Akbar and Princess Leia would be going off the chain because the level 15 Kron will have one tier for Akbar. It'll have a tier for Princess Leia, a tier for Stormtrooper Han.
I'd be okay
Speaking
with
of which, get me some Krennic action, okay? That's all I'm asking for. There's my number 2.
Well,
Ben Mendelsohn action. That's what you want.
I really want more ISB. Like, I really want the faction after the pirates to be like an imperial sort of faction.
With them too, because
get more ISB,
between Andor and
Rebels,
Jedi Survivor and Survivor. There's Rebels. There are
and Outlaws. I'm sure CG will do stuff from another game company, right? Outlaws, yeah, let's do it. It's full of ISB characters.
Oh my god, that's right. ISB wasn't that one too, wasn't it? I almost forgot Outlaws existed. I was like, no, that's Jedi Survivor. You're thinking of the wrong game. No, you're right.
That was the twist. Hashtag spoilers, by the way. That was the twist.
Oh, but by the way, it's still on Twitch Mobile. when I open up your stream, it shows you.
So what you're saying is, right now, Wolfie, all three of us are playing Jedi Outlaws. Outlaws? No, fucking
Yes.
Star Wars Outlaws. That's what we're doing right
Star
now.
Wars Outlaws. Yep, that's what we're doing.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I fervently decided I would not go back until the 1-year release mark and then get all their DLC in one go for on the cheap.
I love it.
You are currently on the motorbike or the speeder or the whatever thing, riding
God
around
damn it.
Tatooine.
And it has to be Tatooine as well, doesn't it? It has to be Tatooine,
Congratulations.
the only planet in Star Wars.
Yeah, with all the plot points that happen on Tatooine, you start to go, how do more people not know about this place?
Good. Good.
Twitch, well done.
Yep.
Just well done,
You
gents.
nailed it.
Just
You had one job, buddy.
Good.
So yeah, we've answered the FDC's question. I know it asked for a top 4, but a top 4 would be way too much action.
Oh, top 4? Holy shit. Fucking, I don't know. Again, it's just like, just make it something fun. I don't even care. Give me like a random Night
Jawas.
Sister, give me a random Imperial Trooper. Yeah, give me a Jawa.
I want the Jawa one.
Neeson needs to be back in the top of the tier.
I want the Jawa one, right, to be every time a thermal detonator is applied to an enemy team, it doubles the current number of thermal detonators on them.
Well, also you give them like their modifier from the Galactic
What?
Challenges, where like
Recover
they heal when the
100%
thermal deaths
protection?
blow up.
Oh, no, hold on.
Yeah,
hold on.
when the thermal deaths blow up, they recover and stuff, right?
The important thing with them is we need to give them all 20 stacks of bulwark at the start of the battle.
3,000% defense.
Yeah, but then,
And
they would
grit.
survive long enough
They
to
would
let all the
survive
thermal
long enough, yeah.
detonators.
And
Yeah.
grit, obviously. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course, grit.
Huh.
They need to be immune to percent health. Like, dude,
So
honest
they need
God,
to
that
be
would
immune to another person trying to use Jawas against them. I
so much fun.
I still want them to double up thermal detonators every time they get applied. So it's like, oh, you have 16 thermal 32. Oh, you have 64 thermal 128 thermal detonators.
Okay. Scribe, are you trying to crash our games? What
Yes,
the
yes, I
It
am.
would be funny.
It would be great. Anybody
wait,
that's
hold on.
not
And
playing
then-
on the PC client,
Kron,
you're fucked.
hold on. Kron also
Pretty
needs
much,
to give
yeah.
the enemy 200% crit damage.
Oh, God. Oh, that's so clever.
Yes.
It's like, have the extra crit damage. You know you want it.
I like it.
I still think people would probably go in with like solo Malak and be like, all right.
No,
okay.
they need to have a trigger effect on thermal detonators blowing up, doing a secondary thing.
Well, does like
inflicting-
true damage?
Like inflicting like heal immunity, and then
just do 1,000 true damage per thermal detonator. So you
Yeah,
get
do a
124
secondary-
thermal detonators.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like,
my
there you
god!
go.
Convert
Good God.
thermals from percentage health to true damage.
Yeah.
Oh god!
I want the only counter to this team to be Lord Vader clones.
That's the counter. Although,
Yeah,
I'm just thinking
they're
Lord
immune-
Vader dropping AoEs and stuff. Scorch
Well,
do
yeah,
it.
but
No-
they're immune to
they're
thermals,
immune
though.
to thermals.
Oh, yeah, of course.
50% health.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they couldn't get them inflicted. And they're never going to deal enough damage to kill them. It would be just the humorous part to me that you have to use this meta brand new team.
Yeah,
to
right.
to be Jawas.
Like,
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
kind of level of crank I'm looking for some of this crap. I'm just like, I just want some really shitty team to be like super powerful for just 4 months. Like,
Yeah.
that's the whole point of FDCs. Give the generic levels where we're not talking about like a faction or a specific character enough viability to be used somewhere else, but then just make the named characters just cracked out of your gourd. And I would
think
love it.
That would be a really good like directionally for the focus datacrons to take on, because like the focus datacrons, these 4 ones that we have seen so far, it seemed to target like less popular, less amazingly like OP sort of meta type characters, less newer type things. And that's like what people complain about datacrons in general a lot. People are like, datacrons are supposed to like lift up old teams, and we're like, no, they didn't actually say that. You know, datacrons are for all sorts of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But people
Literally
have like a
just
vision about Datacrons that they
Yeah.
should be to lift up all these old teams. If they can focus like the focus Datacrons to do exactly that, I think that they would get a lot more. They get a good response if they try and do that sort of
lower
stuff.
the data cache requirement by like half.
That would be nice too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one that desperately does need some extra juicy loving has to be Scion. I'm sure we've brought this up before, but give Scion the level 15 and make him wild. Make him absolutely fucking incredible, because I feel so bad for him. I feel so sad for poor Scion. He's the unloved child of the Triumvirate.
He should be like Night Sister Zombie level of good at reviving.
What?
But he should be Night Sister Zombie level of good at reviving, and he's just not.
Yeah.
Oh, he does have a Datacron right now.
He does.
Does
he like gets offense when he dispels buffs or something.
It's dwarfed massively by Talon's Cron, but
Yes, okay. I want a good one, guys. I want a good one.
It exists.
I want fucking dad bod Boba levels of Datacron.
He should be putting Zombie to shame with how much he's like reviving and stuff. He should be putting Scorch to shame with how much he's tanking. He should be just like the Lord of fucking Pain.
They should have just made his Cron where at the beginning of battle he inflicts pain, which cannot be at the beginning of battle
can't be dispelled.
Can't be dispelled or resisted. It's at the beginning of battle and then at the beginning of each of his turns for one turn, and then just watch him become unkillable, because like that was the thing way back in the day. Even with Revan versus Traya, like if you couldn't keep the pain off of you, like Revan just did nothing to Scion. The only reason you could get around it was because you could have just attack around.
Every time he gains held by hatred, he gains 100% health, protection, and offense, and speed.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Why not? So it's like, oh shit, oh fuck, oh crap, Scion.
I got one for you. Whenever if he uses held by hatred while already having the buff active, he instead instantly defeats target enemy.
Oh yeah, nice.
That would be fun, because that would be such a hard thing.
Target enemy, or like stack up offense or something.
No, do both. Like multi-layer the mechanics together. Incorporate.
Just make him fucking wild. Yeah. Also, he gives you a blowjob.
Because getting him to cycle the held by hatred buff, like to keep cycling it, to get it to go back again when you already have it the first time, it takes a lot of work.
For sure.
Because they can't. They have.
It can take a bit.
Yeah, it can take a bit. So like it would be fun to see that happen. But if you, mash a lot of things together and make him just an absolute unit. That's all I want. I just want.
I'm down for it. I'm down for it
to happen on the older teams, because like what's still going to happen? JMK Cat is still going to walk in and go delete your dead.
Yeah,
which is fine. But if Traya needs JMK Cat like to beat it,
that's a win.
I'm taking that trade every day of the week. Like that's fun.
Yeah, I don't know if like Bosk bounty hunters will do it. Probably not if Scion is permataunting, to be honest. It's going to be hard to hit contract. Well, I suppose you could probably still Zam it, right? Not Zam, fucking Aura. Yeah. Yeah, he shouldn't be unless you made him immune to instant defeats or something.
You'd have to put like an instant defeat clause or something in there.
Or just make his revive unpreventable.
Exactly, exactly what I was going to say. Make him like zombie. Make it so the revive can't be
now we're thinking.
Give him a savior mechanic and then use blight as a part, like the blight kind of idea, where it has to he'll maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do.
I don't know about blight. I want it to still be iconic for
not exactly like blight, but the same kind of general idea where he can't die at 0. Like you can't kill him. He just recovers health and protection.
Why wouldn't you die?
And then let him have like a savior mechanic to where like if a Sith were to die, he instead like takes damage, and then I don't know. There are a lot of things you can work in with that. A lot of fun.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
We could be down that rabbit hole for the next 6 hours if we just.
I want them to redesign like the kit, because like they got so many good things for Scion that can be really. We've gotten from give him a Datacron to give him a funcking kit, which doesn't suck ass.
Just give him an Omicron.
Make it so that you don't need to use fucking Savage in fucking GAC. Like that's what it is.
Well, in fairness though, the days of what Savage can even solo are pretty much non-existent anyways. He's a better support unit than a solo unit.
Agreed. Well, it depends where you are in the game.
For most higher end play, Kyber 2 and beyond.
For
Lower
Savage, you said?
Yeah, for Savage.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're talking,
he is the tank on the team.
Yeah. Because I've
And Gaki is.
You ever gone and played threes and you go use Scion instead of Savage and with Treya and watch your team get
You're like,
eviscerated?
fuck!
You're like, oh shit, they can hurt me? I'm dead. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we probably cornered the market on the Fadux.
Yeah. What we do? Oh yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, Scion would love if he actually functioned and was good and like did things because he's the Lord of fucking Pain, and he's just Lord of riding the bench.
I'm the Lord of the motherfucking Pain, y'all. Yeah.
He is the Lord of the motherfucking bench, y'all.
Yeah, forget Trench. Scion is really on the bench. Like,
yes.
Just doesn't get
Scion
used.
rides the bench a lot more than fucking Trench does.
He literally goes with Treya for the sake of you need to fill the spot in fives.
He might as well.
with Treya.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's it. But like Treya really just wants Savage and Talon and Nihilus. And then the fifth is kind of like, well, who do you have?
He's there.
I think the best thing about having Scion on the team is that he triggers the uniques of
Nihilus, right?
Both Treya and Nihilus. Yeah. I think Treya or like Nihilus gets a term eater or whatever. Treya and Scion are debuffed, and then like Treya gets like bonus like something else. So like he is another person to trigger those uniques.
But
so
can you imagine
the only thing that he actually offers, like buffing those two people up.
That's what you bring to the team. It's like, I got debuffed. And these guys are now better. I'm just gonna sit here.
Yeah.
Poor Scion.
Just, well done. I'm happy for you, Scion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Good old buff sticks.
Oh man.
Love a good buff stick. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to discuss, or shall we look to wrap it up like a Trojan horse?
Oh, I think we're ready to move on to wrapping it up.
Okay.
Do you got any of the Tribe Talks questions from the chats?
Now's your chance. Or forever hold your peace.
Or
candy.
Forever until next week, hold your peace.
Yes.
Get them in, and then we'll immediately ignore them. Ready break.
Yep. Absolutely. Need a beer run break and a pee break.
Do it. You won't. No balls.
Do it. You won't. I think you'll find. Am I doing GAC tonight? No, probably not. I was thinking about it, but now I'm tired. So no, I'll do it tomorrow.
I'll be doing GAC in a little bit.
Man, yeah. Well, there you go. Wolfie will be doing it in a bit, so you get to join Wolfie.
Shameless plug.
Shameless. How dare you plug your content on your content, Wolf? You fuck.
Imagine the nerve.
The nerve.
I will not be gacking.
You think you know a guy.
You will not be gacking? Just full stop.
Yeah, just full stop.
I will not be gacking. Yeah, that's right. He's cool.
Quitting gack. He's hit his peak, and he's good. He's done. He's achieved all of his hopes and dreams. Unfortunately, though, real quick, another get a poor little sad note. Trouble on Demand recently decided to hang up his Swigo hat. He had reached top 200 and decided that you know what, I've achieved my goals. I've kicked some ass. I've done all sorts of crazy stuff. The only way to go higher is to spend more. So he's moving on to bigger and better things, meaning playing a lot more Baldur's Gate.
That's not a bad thing.
Much love, Trouble on Demand.
Yeah, much love, bud. All the best. Hasta luego.
Yeah,
indeed.
I'm 2-1. I'm 2-0 on my main account, and so
I'm
I'm
0-2.
throw the last round just for the sake of I don't want to climb too high, too quickly, and then my alt is 0-2, and so I might try on winning this one on that one, but that's about it.
Yeah, no, I'm going to win on my main. I blame Dave for me losing my GAC on Friday because he made me a little distracted, and I just started hitting auto on everything. Like that
Did you-
Wampa
did
versus
you,
GG cost me the match for one, but so did the fleet battle where I was just like, I dropped like 10 banners in that fleet battle for nothing.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. The profundity fight was really bad, but that was the fun. I made a little Twitch clip for you on that one.
Did
I
you?
put you in air code. Yeah, air code on that.
Oh, you put me on error code. I'll have to see that one. I'll
It's
go
in
and watch
Patreon
it.
chat.
Yeah, I'll go check it out.
I put it as Air 4500-1. I was like, just
Does not compute.
but literally, like your face during that, you just blanked out, stare like you were trying to wrap your head around what was happening and still play the game, and then like just
Yeah, I couldn't.
pure curiosity took over, and you're just like blanked out, staring at the logs while the game's playing and auto on the background. It was
My brain went to mush, man. I was just like,
Yes.
oh, fuck.
We could tell.
That was a wild time there.
I had to rewind and do a clip just to make sure I saw what I saw.
Yeah, me too. I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, shout out to Dave. What a fucking incredible, phenomenal guy.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, fueling these nuts, basically. And no homo. But yeah, no, super good
Why
guy.
would it be?
Yeah, why is that ever homo? No, what a gentleman. What a gentleman. And on that bombshell, I guess we will wrap it up. I will see if someone's live. I imagine Calvin's probably live.
Calvin's live.
Yeah.
Live.
Eggy's live. Meathead's live. Wow. So many people are live right now. All right. Well, I'll send
doing some Magic the Gathering.
Gadget the Mathering. I'll send
Mather
people
that
over.
Gadget.
You better mather the fuck out of that gadget right about now. Yeah, I'm going to send you guys over to Calvin because, you probably want to see some gaction. And you can swing around and see Wolfie's gaction afterwards because I imagine Calvin's probably wrapping up soon, truth be told.
Yeah. I'll be live in a little bit.
Yeah. And it'll be golden. Thank you, everybody at home.
Woo!
You wonderful people. And we'll see you soon. See you tomorrow, in fact. Good night, everybody.
Giggity.
Bye.